Hey guys, Mike here. Today guys, I wanted to go over one of my clients' profiles for toxicity in chemicals, and I think it'll be a real big help for y'all. So my client, I'm going to just call her Miss M. I'm going to keep it pretty anonymous. She's in between 20 and 40 years old. She teaches in between 3rd and ninth grade, and she's in a medium-sized Georgia city. So when Mrs. M wakes up, she goes immediately to the restroom and brushes teeth. The exposure to the chemicals start this fast and this serious. Bam! You're hit with sodium fluoride. You're hit with all these little byproducts that's inside of the toothpaste. You're hit with the microplastics that the toothpaste is came in. You brush with a microplastic brush. You've already exposed yourself to huge amounts of it already. And you're 10 minutes within waking up. So after brushing her teeth, she uses mouthwash. This mouthwash kills all the good probiotics inside of your mouth. It can lead to destruction of probiotics in the gut, and this can lead to later down the line things like serotonin and dopamine and all this. They all need these weird stomach enzymes to kind of go through their little pathways and become the chemical or the neurotransmitter or the hormone or whatever that they need. They need a lot of the stuff in the gut, this microbiotics. And when you use mouthwash frequently, you're exposing all that to you're just killing all that. And so you will have, you get depressed from mouthwash. It's kind of crazy. So she uses mouthwash, washes that out, uses the restroom. Toilet paper is bleached. It has tons and tons and tons of chemicals that are exposed to the most sensitive parts of your body. After that, she jumps in the shower. In the shower, the water is packed with glyphosate, packed with fluoride, packed with all these other chemicals, chlorine and such, and just causing a wreck on your body. It's being heated up and passed through plastic pipes, whether it be PEX or whether it be PVC. Almost nobody has copper pipes anymore, and that of course just makes it a lot better. And then after that, she dries off with a towel. Well, first she uses soaps that have paraffins, phthalates in them, fragrances, microplastics, all this crazy stuff. Uses shampoo and conditioner. It has the same thing. Washes with a plastic little scrubby, I don't know what they're called, scrungy or scrubbies or whatever. The thing in the shower it's plastic, and you can wash yourself with it, whatever it's called. Those things are of course plastic. They break down and that gets absorbed into your body. Although those particles are a lot larger, they're not going to transdermally pass through, but some will, because it will of course break down. That's all plastic does. Plastic breaks down. The big plastic becomes not big plastic, not big plastic becomes small plastic becomes smaller plastic, it becomes smaller, then it becomes smaller, then micro, then super micro, then nano, then whatever. And the smallest ones can bypass any of your body's defense systems, get absorbed and get deposited usually into the brain or other fatty muscles like that, or excuse me, not they pick up in certain muscles that have certain fat compositions in them. So she hops out of the shower, dries with a towel that has laundry detergent in there. There's 20 more chemicals. There's a dryer sheet that was used to help dry it out. There was more plastics, more chemicals. Just keep on piling them on. And hops out the shower, puts hair product on. This is a lot of these hair products. They're real. There's a lot of good products out there. There's a lot of bad products. I don't see too many problems with like the some of the more natural hair products. Things like olive oil, argan oil, coconut, all these things. They have a kind of a conscientious customer base and manufacturing base, and so I see those as a lot high quality standard than shampoos and conditioners. I'm talking about stuff like curling agents and all these. And again, it's just about the quality and how much money you want to spend and all that. Obviously, The more natural things cost a little more. I mean, you could buy a VO5 shampoo for $1 or $2 or $3. I don't know. I haven't bought it in so long. I don't think I've ever bought it, to be honest with you. One time in an apartment in the Bronx, I had the apartment came furnished, and I had like in the city, they put together these apartments, and often it's up to the contractor to furnish them and all. And I guess they had a lot of them left over, but I had like maybe 30 or 40 bottles of some kind of cheap shampoo, VO5 or whatever. I don't know, whatever it was. And, you know, it's horrible. But you can get good finishing products a lot of times. And I often see people do really good on those. I see them getting good brands, good ingredients and all. And it's such a fragmented field. It's like the wild, wild west for hair finishing products. So Miss M uses that. She applies minimal makeup. She does wear lipstick sometimes, and that lipstick is, of course, just whatever. I'm not sure of the chemicals that's in it. There are some, and again, this gets back to the point. You don't have to know every word, every scientific meaning, definition, this and that, and try to impress people with a huge band of knowledge or whatever. These stuff is bad, okay? The studies that come out, they're funded by people who can be wrong. They're funded by people with interests. So even the studies and all, you can't look at them like a religion. You can't look at them like 100% trust. And that's because science and research and data and all is, one, hard to get honestly, and two, it might not be applicable to you. It could be mistakes in the data, mistakes in the research, all kinds of things. So instead of trying to sit there and make a weighted adjustment to how bad this chemical is to this chemical, just avoid them all. I mean, treat them all like poison, because we don't know how poison. We have an idea how poisonous they are, but people can be wrong. Science is not there yet, I guess, or maybe we'll never be there. So Miss M then hops into, she drives off with I already went over that. So she has her hair products on, the cosmetics on. One good thing Miss M does is take creatine and collagen, which is what everybody should be doing, unless you eat 2 pounds of meat, red meat in a day. You know, you're probably not getting enough creatine, and your collagen, you're not getting enough unless you're eating, you know, fish and real fatty cuts of meat. Some of the less popular cuts, a lot of Asian people will eat some of the more gelatinous cuts of meat, and the more tendon and more not as popular cuts, and those are excellent sources of collagen, and they really can pound out the collagen like that. But shouts out to Miss M for supplementing both of those, and I recommend, like I said, everybody does that. Miss M hops in a Mercedes-Benz, and she is again greeted with fumes from the adhesives, fumes from the composite materials, fumes from the plastic, fumes from the additives, fumes from the oil, fumes from the gasoline, fumes from everything. The radiator fluid can emit fumes, and again, that's not good for you. All these things are hitting you in small amounts, but over the whole day, you see how much you're getting exposed to. And Miss M hasn't even arrived at school yet, where she teaches at. So Miss M cranks up the Mercedes, some more fumes from the operation of the engine enter the cabin, so she's smelling all that kind of stuff, all the gasoline fumes, which are extremely bad for you. And driving on the road, there's all kind of asphalt work going on, all kind of chemicals that are on the road from spilling off of other vehicles, from leaks from other vehicles, and all this just sits on the road and rains, and it just goes right into the gutter. A lot of these chemicals tend to stay put. They don't get washed away by water as easily, and so you got, you know, hotbeds of chemicals everywhere, all on both sides of the road and in the road. She drives there. It's like a 3-minute drive to her work. Hops out into the parking lot, goes inside. Well, first, the school is within 10 miles or so of some very large manufacturing plants. So she's getting all kind of byproduct from that paper plant. There's a battery plant close by. There's a chemical plant close by. There is a cardboard, corrugated cardboard manufacturer close by. There's I think it's a nitrogen bottling facility or something like that, where you will go to get certain gases and canisters that you need. I'm sure there's tons of stuff going on there, tons of 18-wheelers coming in and out, and these factories, they've polluted that. They have, every factory that has ever existed has dumped things in some ways. So all of them have polluted that atmosphere even more. Okay, so she's walking through the parking lot. She finally gets inside, walks through the doors, is immediately greeted by the strong cleaning chemicals that a lot of schools use. Chlorine, bleach, pine sol, all these kinds of things. So she gets hit with that right in the face, walking into the school, goes into the first room, and has this artificial light, which is, it's not a toxin or whatever, but it's still pertinent. And she's writing on the board. She's using a dry erase marker, which of course, I mean, do I have to continue to repeat myself? There's tons of things in there that's bad. She's smelling all of this. She's walking around. She's touching paper all day, which has plastics and such on the top layer of it. It's very easily absorbed. A lot of the ink that they use on the paper is absorbed too, and again, super toxic. It melts your brain away. And then she goes to lunch. She eats very clean, which is very good, but still exposed to you're not going to be able to eat a perfectly clean, healthy meal. So she will be exposed to microplastics, seed oils, and all that through those meals over time. And then she gets in the car and goes home. And when she goes home, it's just a reverberation of the morning routine. You go to the bathroom, you're exposed to all that. She goes, lays on her bed. She has a mattress that's covered in this fake material that releases fumes and such. Again, the glues and plastics all in her house. The air outside not being clean as it could be. All these things are basically just assaulting her body. It's just a chemical and toxic assault. And this is a regular person. She is not a wealthy person. Like I said, she's a school teacher. She does drive a Benz and has a decent house. But she's not like super wealthy or whatever. And this is just to show y'all, like, you have to be really conscious of all these things you come against in a day. And yeah, it's all about taking a creatine, taking collagen, exercise, eat good and all that, but you're going to have to defend those gains that you make. All that muscle you build, all that collagen you get built up, you got to defend it. You got to defend it from these toxins and pollutants. Otherwise, it was just a waste to do so. In many instances, people will expose themselves to these toxins and chemicals, participate in a modern society and such, and they're doing it to help their health, but they're actually writing their own death sentence. And they'll work themselves to death. They'll stress out over everything, and they never get to the point of being healthy. And of course, this is a trade-off. It's just part of society, but it's also got there's some evilness to this. There's so many people that just don't care about other people's health and will trick them, will steal, will lie, or whatever to make themselves more money at the price of people's health. And this is everything from like companies that know that glyphosate is poison, and they still back it and support it, and they try to come up with research that says otherwise. This is people, Henry Ford advocating for the Model T. Of course, that produced a ton of pollutants in the world. One of the largest polluters probably was the early automotive industry. And in the big in the big boardrooms up in them big old towers in the city in Chicago and New York and Atlanta, Dallas, Los Angeles, all that. These guys aren't making decisions on the nation's health. It's all legally outlined as their fiduciary duty to basically make money. Legally, they have to, otherwise they can go to jail. They could get sued, or I'm not sure the legal implications of it, but they're tied to basically do that. And so they can't even really consider this stuff like legally, as far as the compliance. It just has to be legal. It doesn't matter how harmful it is to this or that people. There are very few companies that will take a stand and will point their neck out merrily, but a lot of them aren't even. It's not as. It's basically 99% of the time they don't care at all. One of the most honest companies that there is out there is Chick-fil-A. So Chick-fil-A has a great reputation, a lot of goodwill, especially down here in Georgia, and they have supported tons of charities. They've been a decent company, but they still are in a boardroom somewhere. And a recent example, they changed their formula for their chicken sandwich, and they included a lot of horrible things. And at some point, people were up in this boardroom. This is in Atlanta, and they said, "Hey, yo, maybe we shouldn't use this product. It's toxic." And of course, it's not like they're evil princes and kings and all just sitting there laughing diabolically. They're walking the line of fiduciary duty, satisfying customer demand, and also running a successful business. So they have a kind of a working relationship with the consumer base. And these companies will continue to lie and cheat and steal and do all that, especially with their records with pollution and all that. And it's up to us to keep them kind of honest, because they're going to produce whatever sells. And if they can get away with selling crap, they will. But if they can't, they won't. So it's also a reflection of us and how much we care about things. So when I see these companies doing all this, I really don't think like, oh, this company so much is evil. The people that are making the decisions are, of course, responsible, but it is just a reflection of society at large. Like, we wouldn't have McDonald's if people actually took their health serious. We wouldn't have just tons and tons of fat people if they actually cared about their health. So, it's a lot to ask a company to care for your health when you don't even care for it, or for them to expend extra resources above their profit motive to render you a healthier decision. So that's just a couple things I wanted to talk about. It was really interesting. It just blows my mind every time I think about it, though, about the amount of chemicals we're exposed to every day, hundreds of them in massive amounts. And it's just something I think that we're going to have to start to fix. Of course, as a person, you can fix a lot of this yourself. Most of it doesn't even require money. With Miss M, she could improve her body wash, her shampoo, her conditioner, upgrade all that to natural things. Use real cloth instead of polyester and such. Use cotton wool. Wash with a natural laundry detergent, or make your own. I make my own, and the stuff I make is 10 times better than whatever you'll find in the store. It's going to clean your clothes better. It's going to make your clothes smell really good. It's going to make it really soft, and it's going to make them, they'll keep the smell longer, and it won't be as much damage to your clothes, I don't think. Again, I haven't did this 10 million times yet. I'm still just now getting to this laundry detergent part, making my own. I make mine, I use a cedar water, and of course I mix it with some borax, and mix it with some Castile soap, and a couple other things depending on what fragrance I want. Rosemary and cedar are the strongest cleaners, but do not overdo it because you will mess your washing machine up, and you can damage your clothes pretty easily with some strong rosemary or some strong cedar. So those kind of little things. The Mercedes, get an in-cabin filter. I know it's quite expensive, but a lot of people are getting these that will filter to a very, very high degree, and they're very good filters too. In-cabin car filters they're powerful, man. They can really change the environment of a car. I notice it. I notice it because I have been attuned to this basically my whole life, smelling things. My senses are just so strong at picking these things up. I swear I think my smell is like doubled in the past 10 years in strength since going even more natural. And so all of these things, y'all, just some things that you're gonna have to think of and take into account. And again, it's not all about spending money. It's not about just buying some AG1 and whatever, which is garbage, or whatever supplement the YouTubers are promoting that day. These things are how you actually will get healthy. These are the things that are really going to lead to a drop in your cancer, a drop in your diabetes, a drop in your depression, anxiety, any of these things. This is how you conquer it. This is how you get ahead of it. It's these small actions that like we get faced with every 3 minutes. You know, we're constantly faced with this decision of convenience, of money over our health, and a lot of times we just grown too lazy. We just pick the laziest option at the behest of our health, and it's just really messing us up as a nation. It's destroying us long term. And we're going to see this stuff change a lot. And so that's pretty much it. Y'all let me know what you think. And oh well, yeah. So in the end, I gave y'all a couple suggestions, but Miss M is starting to take a lot of this into account. You're not going to be able to change people's lifestyle super quickly. This takes years. I've been pounding Mrs. M over the past like maybe 3 years with this stuff. So every time she talks to me, every time she sees me, the subject goes back to, hey, what you think about this? Did you try making your own soap? Did you try using a higher quality like a Cetaphil soap or something like that? And you know, it's having some effects. One of the absolute best things, without a doubt, the best thing to be in this field, helping people with their health, is when you, like one day I went over to her house, I seen the collagen supplement on the kitchen counter, and I said, man, like, you're starting to do this? Like, she didn't tell me. She wasn't like, I'm gonna go buy collagen. She basically sat there quiet while I was ranting and raving the whole time, and she picked out some good pieces of information. So when you see people do that, and I had seen this after maybe she was on it maybe 3 months or so before I knew she was taking it, so I could obviously see results. She seen results. She was extremely happy with it. And man, when you see people improve their health like that, that's the best thing on earth. I'm telling you, it's even better than money. It's better than anything. The feeling that you did something very long term. You did something that will help this person for the rest of their life. While other people fill them with lies, while other people poison them and steal from them and harm them and gaslight them, you came around and you you did something that put a spark into their life. And who knows what that could lead to. She might be 50 years old one day and fall and break her hip. And well, that's more like a 70-year-old issue. But anyway, let's say she get into a car wreck tomorrow and she has to be laid up for 6 months. All that collagen she built up, all that protein from the collagen, the muscle and all that it helps build too, all that stuff is going to be the spark that gets her out of that hospital bed, that gets her up back to work and back to exercise, back to moving, thriving, and living. And so when I see that stuff, man, it's really cool. And I asked her, I said, hey, you taking this finally? And, you know, she's face lights up and says, yeah, I'm glad you told me about it. You know, I think it's really improving my health in certain ways. And man, that's awesome. And it takes a long time to get people to listen to you. You got to build trust. And the best way to build trust is, of course, you have to be healthy yourself. You have to practice what you preach, pretty much. So that's pretty much it, y'all. I'll come at y'all with some more profiles, some more things that my clients and all come to me with. It's pretty interesting. It's not so much nutrition advice. I think half of the questions I get from clients and such, probably half the questions are, how do I lose weight? And that's a whole nother subject. Another common one is hair loss with men and women, probably equal in both of those. So I might give y'all a couple of profiles on that. My hair clients are, they don't listen to me. They don't, they partake in my advice sometimes, but man, I could really improve their stuff a lot more if they would listen more. And rosemary is like one of the coolest things for hair, by the way. And collagen. Collagen is absolutely necessary for your hair to look good long term. The collagen you're eating today will help to build the hair follicle the hair strand that you'll see, months and years later. So that's pretty much it, y'all. Avoid them toxins, avoid the chemicals and all. Y'all have a great day. Thank you.